Alright, so now here in Module 3, we're actually going to learn how to start adding in media. Woo! So media on our web pages is really simple. You can add in images, you can add in video, you can also add in audio if you wish. Now we're going to start over here on the left hand side, and we're going to add in first an image. So to add in an image, we're going to open up an MIG tag for image. And I kind of sort of lied to you guys at the beginning where I mentioned that every tag that gets open must also be closed, and that tags always come in pairs. Now, typically what we would do is close the image tag here. However, the image tag is one of the very few exceptions to that rule. The image tag actually does not have the second paired tag. It actually self-closes. And the way it does that is by inside of the opening tag, you add a space and a slash, and the image tag opens and closes all within itself in the one tag. So again, the image tag is the one exception to that rule. Now, just because I went ahead and added in this image tag here does not mean that an image will load. I actually have to specify where this image file actually lives so that the website can load it in. So what I'm going to do is inside of this image tag, I'm going to give it the attribute of source. And source is actually going to look for where this image file is. I actually have it loaded up here, so it's really cool desk and computer image. So I'm going to copy the URL for that, come back in, and paste it inside of my source attribute. And now I have an image loading on my web page. How awesome is that? Now I do want to give you guys one disclaimer for images. As awesome as they are, you also do have to be very careful, because everyone that comes to your site should be able to experience it in the same exact way. What I mean by that is that if anyone comes by to view your website and they have visual impairments and they cannot see this image, they will not have the same experience as someone without those impairments. So in that case, what we do is we actually provide alternate text that describes to them what this image actually looks like in case they can't see it. So inside of the image tag, I'm going to add one more attribute called alt. Alt stands for alternate text. And this text will actually describe to someone who cannot see the image what it looks like. So in there, I'm going to say web designer desk and computer. So if this image were to not load, or if the link is broken, or if the image was taken down, you would still be able to see a description for what this image looks like. So if I were to, for example here, get rid of the source attribute to break this image, this is what would happen. My image goes away, but my alternate text still shows here. So this is also a great fallback. Not only does it help people with visual impairments equally experience this website, but it also helps you for fallbacks in case your image sources break. So this is definitely great. Alright, so the image tag is done and ready. We have an image. So let's go ahead and head into video now. So for video, what we're going to do is open up a video tag and close a video tag. And the video tag takes in 3 attributes. The first one is width. I'm going to set width to be 320 pixels. We'll also give it a height of 240 pixels. And that width to height ratio is about the same as what YouTube uses, so that's pretty good for me. After that, we want to make sure to add one more attribute, which is controls. In controls, we'll actually add a player to this video, which is great. I have a play pause button, and I also have a little scrubber here where I can move to different parts of my video time. Now, this player here will look completely different from browser to browser. So right now I'm using Google Chrome. If you were using Firefox or Safari or any other web browser, this will look completely different. They all have their own default styling attached to them. Even from version to version within the same browser, they may look different. So don't be alarmed if my play button looks a little different from yours. If yours has volume controls and mine doesn't, it's okay. These are just default styling set up by the browser. Alright, so I have my video tag. I gave it a width, gave it a height, I gave it a controls, but I still have no video. And the reason why is because I actually have to specify where this video file actually is for it to load. The way I do that is inside of my video tag, I add in the source tag. And the source tag takes in 2 attributes, which is source and type. Now, whenever you're actually working with, I'm brightening up my screen a little bit, whenever you're actually working here with your source and type, this is because whenever you are loading video into a website, you always need at least 2 file types. Typically, those file types are MP4 and WebM. So you have those 2 different file types, MP4 and WebM. If you've never, ever used a WebM file extension, it's okay. You can take your MP4 file, you can go online and find a quick MP4 to WebM converter. There's tons of online converters that are free that you can use really easily. Choose whichever one you've liked. I've used a few different ones and they're all pretty good. And that way you can have that secondary file extension. The reason why we need at least 2 different types is because different browsers require different file types. With the MP4 and WebM file types, you'll be safe to catch in most of the major browsers at minimum. Alright, so first thing that we have to do is we have to make sure to give in the type. So the type is actually going to be a video file /MP4. So video /MP4 says this is a video file with the MP4 extension type. Now I actually have to go ahead and find my video, which is up here. So I'm going to copy my video, paste it inside the source, and now I have a video loading. And if I press play, it works. I can see my person is typing. I can see their hand moving. I can scrub to different parts of the video. So this is great. My video works. Yay! Now before I move on, I do want to make sure that I provide the secondary source type for any other browsers. So I'm going to copy that whole source, paste it in, and wherever it said MP4, I'm going to change that to WebM. So now I have my video with 2 different sources all set up and ready to go. So far we have images, we have video. The very last thing we need to add in is audio. Now the setup for audio is very similar to video. We're actually going to go ahead and start by opening an audio tag and closing an audio tag. Now the audio tag only takes in 1 attribute, which is controls. The reason why is because it's not video. It doesn't need a width and a height. It's just a single audio file where you press play and hear it. Now inside of there it needs 2 different sources, just like we had for video, right? For different browsers depending on the file extension that they like. So we're going to give it a source and we're going to give it a type. And the type of file it is audio /MP3 for the first one. So you typically need for audio an MP3 or a WAV file. Again, if you don't have a WAV file, make sure to look around. I gave you guys a few different resources to look through if you check through the final project for your project when you're implementing it in. Different sources for pictures, video, and audio so that you do have those different file types. Alright, so the source of my audio is actually already opened over here. I have an MP3 file, and I'm going to make sure to copy the link to that file and paste it in here. And now that I have that source, I'm going to do the same thing and change everywhere it says MP3 to WAV, W-A-V, for the secondary source of audio, right? 2 different file types for audio, MP3 and WAV. All right, so there is my audio player. If I go over here and I press play, ta-da, it works. So I can actually add in any other audio file that I have a link to. Just plop it in, press play. Notice I also have a scrubber. I have volume controls as well. So this is definitely really awesome and pretty cool. So again, super easy to add in media to your web pages. You have your image tag, your video tag, and your audio tag. And with that, really it's up to you guys what sources you tend to find for your media. You're all good to go. Right, so that's it for the media video. We'll catch you guys for the next one.